Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Order letter. How to place an order is our today's topic. We have discussed inquiry letter, and while discussing inquiry letters, we discuss buying inquiries. Buying inquiries are the inquiries in which you show your interest for some services or some product, and you seek information regarding their prices and other features. So you have received the information and you are well satisfied with the product and all the terms and conditions of the seller. Now it's time to place an order. How do you place an order? Remember that order letter is basically a contract of selling and purchasing of goods or services. I have used the word contract because when you write an order letter or you place an order, in fact you are using the first part of offer into your letter. So when the seller takes the step, by taking that step he completes the second part, and thus this buying and selling comes into a contract. So that's why we said that an order letter is actually a contract of selling and purchasing of any goods or services. Since it's a contract, it needs to be very accurate, very precise, and all the terms and conditions and all the things given into it should be given in a very clear manner, in a very definite manner. Whenever you have to think of placing an order, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Right? The thing that comes to your mind is the product, and you know that which product you are going to ask for or buy. You have gone through the inquiry stage, and now you are very clear about all the description about that product or that services that you are going to have. So the very first thing and the most important thing is that you have to think about the product, the description of the product. You have to think, if suppose it's any product at anything, it may be a table fan, it may be an exhaust fan, it may be some item of furniture, it may be some item of crockery, it may be some part of some raw material or whatever, right? The very first thing is the description of that product. You are going to think about the quantity, you are going to think about the quality that you want, that is up to your requirement, that you have in your mind. In certain cases, you are going to think about the size, you are going to think about the color, you are going to think about even in some cases you simply have seen the product in some catalog of the seller. So you think of that catalog number or prices number, whatever it is. At this stage you actually pinpoint the product, so that whenever it reaches your seller, it is known to him that what does the writer of this letter want. So it's very important that you are very clear about the product that you are going to buy or the services that you are going to hire. So after thinking about the description of the product, what next comes to your mind? Obviously you are going to place an order. Remember that you have to place an order within a very definite term. I mean, the way you give an order is very important. Some of the organization use some printed form, some form which is called a purchase order. So there are certain, this form is in a tabular form, they simply fill in the blanks. Some of the seller provide an order form to the buyer. So again, all the description is there, the buyer need to fill in the blanks. But in some cases, the order letter has to be written on white paper. When it has to be written on white paper, you have to think all the description. If you have to, you need to describe your product or services in detail. So it's better that you use a tabular form. So it can give you access to have a place for each item. For description you have place, for the individual cost of the product, for the total cost of the product, you have certain places for it. So tabular form is very easy for things, for products which require a lot of details. Maybe in some time you only need to name the mention the name of the thing, and in that case you need not use any tabular form. However, tabular form in most of the cases is quite handy, quite helpful in giving all the description about the product. So as I just said, that the first thing about the product is to think of the product and to focus the product, to describe the product in such a way that your reader understand the product and he easily recognizes your order. After the product, what comes next to your mind? You have to mention the method of transportation. Either you are going to give some shipping address. So if you are going to give some shipping address, tell the reader that he should send the goods to the address given above or given below. After shipping address, you need to tell the reader that how do you want those products to reach their destination. So you have to mention the method of transportation. We have different things, different carrier. For example, it may be an air cargo, it may be a shipping cargo, it may be some railways, some trucking agency, some courier. So whatever shipping arrangement you want, you have to mention. Remember that the choice of shipping arrangement also depend on the overall cost of the product, because if you choose the air cargo, that's expensive compared to other means of transportation. So you have to think of all these aspects. Sometimes you need something very urgently. So in that case, obviously you are going to take care of that urgency. So you have to mention in your letter which type of shipping arrangement you want. Mention very clearly, telling about all these things. So tell the reader whether the merchandise is to be shipped FOB destination or FOB shipping point. FOB means free on board, and destination means the seller is to pay the cost, and FOB shipping point means that the buyer is going to pay the cost of the transportation. So you must tell very precisely to the seller that which method of transportation you are going to adopt. Besides telling about the shipping arrangements, you also need to tell the seller that the mode of payment, whether you're going to pay by a personal check or it's going to be a COD, cash on demand. If it is to be charged against any credit card, you got to give the number, and it's better if you include even the expiry date of the credit card. So do tell the seller about the mode of payment. He must know that how you are going to pay. If there is already any settlement between you and the seller, do mention it. And one thing more, if there is any discount arrangement that has already taken place in the inquiry stage, do mention it here, because as I told you, it's a contract. So when it is a contract, it needs that each and every specification, terms and condition should be very clearly mentioned in this letter. So what are you going to remember about writing an order letter, about placing an order letter? Number one, you have to give the description of the product, merchandise or services. Then you have to give the method of transportation. Then comes the mode of payment, and in mode of payment you are going to tell how the seller is going to have his payment, through any personal check or through bank or through any way, any credit card or in any other means, right? Or the things are going to be taken on credit. So after giving this mode of payment, then comes the date of delivery, the time when you want the goods, merchandise, services to receive. This is very important. If you place an order without mentioning, I mean simply say that send us the following items by this means and the check is enclosed or whatever, you include all other things and you do not mention the time of delivery, that when you want the goods to reach you, this type of an order letter is going to create a chaos, problem for you. For example, you wanted the merchandise to reach you before a certain occasion, let's say Eid, right? You are dealing in garments and you had placed an order for coming Eid session. But what happened is you failed to mention the date, and the seller sent the goods after Eid. So you lose your business before Eid and you are in trouble and you can't do anything because you failed to mention the time of delivery, that one when you wanted the goods to reach you. So this thing is also very important. Each and every clause of an order letter is very important, is a very sensitive issue, because if you do not take care to it, you are going to put yourself into trouble. So think of this, think of the description, think of the how you're going to pay the seller, and then how you are going to get those goods, how the goods are to be shipped, and then the time of delivery when you want the goods to reach you. After that, sometime you have placed an order for very sensitive goods. I mean the goods that are breakable. So it's better that you make you describe in the letter that how the goods should be packed. So packing instruction must be given. Besides giving packing instructions, sometime you also need to give some instruction about insurance. You want the goods to be insured. So if you have this very thing in your mind, it's better that you also mention. You just need to write one sentence, sometime a part of a sentence, that the good must be insured before sending. So writing such a sentence can insure your product. So if you want to give instructions to the seller regarding insurance, so do mention in your letter. Then beside these things, sometime you want to give some other instruction about some sale tax to be included into the total amount or whatever. So whatever is to be given, you have to mention in the order letter. All the description about order letter must be very clear, very vivid, very precise, very definite. So here we have more of concreteness principle than any other. Obviously others are also there. We need courtesy, need you attitude, etc. All those principle we do want, but this is very important. Everything should be, if we are writing any figure, we need to double check it. It's very important. So this is a journal description about writing an order letter. So when you write an order letter, all these things should be in your mind. So now let's look at the organizational plan. What is the organizational plan? Obviously it's a direct request, and you don't have to persuade the reader, you don't have to excite the interest of the reader, because the reader is willing to serve you. You are going to be his buyer. So you have to come direct to the point, main idea. So let's look at the organizational plan of a letter which places an order. So it begins with a direct request statement of the request. Use wording that indicates an order rather than a request, like please send me or please ship, instead of I want or I need, which are neither polite nor legally appropriate for a business order. So you need to begin your letter with the beginnings like please send me the following letter. Sometimes you write in a very casual manner, like I want to buy this. So, and you sometimes you begin your letter in a way that seems that you are just beating about the bush. You may mention that you are enclosing a check for a certain amount of the product, but the way you have started the letter is not definite. So be very precise. Use these words, please send me the following items, or please ship me the following items. So normally when we are using any printed form, such words are already written in the starting the body, that please ship the following items or please send us the following items. So in some cases we begin our letter referring to the inquiry. For example, in that case our beginning can be like this: thank you very much for your letter of certain date regarding crockery items. So this type of a beginning can be also possible in such a letter. You give a relationship to the reader about your previous correspondence with him. So you can adopt any method to begin your letter. It may be this one, as I just said, that thank you very much for your letter regarding the product so and so, and or it can be please send us the following item, please ship us the following item. But don't use I want or this, because this is a legal contract, and legal contract needs that the intention must be given very precisely and very accurately. If it does not, it fails to achieve its purpose, and sometimes we are not able to defend our case. So give your beginning very definite. Second thing is open with a general description of your order that encompasses all the details. So tell the reader that you want to place an order for crockery item, for any auto parts, for any garments. Generally, and in this way the reader makes up his mind what is coming next. So this is how you start order letters. Then comes the middle part, the explanation part, the detailed part. So in this part you have to take care of the following instructions. One is, For complex order, provide a general explanation of how the requested material will be used. Obviously, a lot of time you have to place order for certain types of machinery. So in that case, you need to be as precise as possible. You have to, sometimes you have to send some drawings with your letter so that the reader could pinpoint the type of machine that you looking for or that you want. So it's very important that in case of any complex order, place the exact specification and include anything that can help the reader to understand what you want to buy. Then provide all specification, quantity, price, including discount, size, catalog number, product description, shipping instruction, date and place, arrangement for payment, method, time, deposit and cost, total, etc. So this is what the middle part is, as I just told you. For example, placing an order for a certain pedestal fan, tell that you want a pedestal fan, tell that you want a ceiling fan, give the other specification, give color. Sometimes it happens that a company manufacturer different quality of a certain product. So in that case, you must pinpoint that which type of the quality you are going for. So go for it. Tell the individual cost of each product and the total cost, as I just explained in the beginning, that you have to give complete description of a product or the services that you want. Then comes use a format that present information clearly and makes it easy to total amounts. So as I just said, that it's better to use any tabular form in order letters, because that help us to give description in their places. So using a tabular form order letter enables you to give this specification and also enables your reader to understand what you want to give, including the description of the product and as well as the amount of the product. Then double check the completeness of your order and the cost totals. Again, whenever there is a matter of figure, there is a matter of there is some money matter, it's very important that you double check it. And we've been suggesting you right from the beginning, since we started discussing principle of communication, all the 7 C's, that whenever you are dealing with some figures, it's always advisable to double check them, double check their total, their unit price as well as total price. Then we come to the end, and that is courteous close with request to some action, as we have in every direct request, that the end part of a direct request is a courteous close with request to some action. And here the action is very important because a lot of things are involved in it. Here we want something for ourselves. So be very careful. Include a clear summary of the desired action, which action you want. I mean, in this case, you want the goods to reach you at a certain time, at a certain place. So explain it. Whenever possible, suggest a future reader benefit of complying with the order. So this can be a relationship building sentence. For example, you can say that if the goods are received, you may look forward to further orders. So such a sentence can be very appreciative for the reader, who is the seller in this case. So include such a sentence. It is goodwill building sentence. And then close on a cordial note. Always we are looking forward to having the goods from you. Any with regards, thank you very much, etc. Or the ending that we have seen in a lot of letters. I'm sure that now you must be well versed with all these ending. Keep revising these endings, these beginnings, because with good ending and beginnings you can always write very good letters. Then we have clearly state any time limit that apply to your order and explain why they are important. As I just said that why time is important, I cited the example of a person who got to have the product for some Eid sale. So it's important that you mention that why the order must reach to you by a certain time, so that it's better to include the occasion. So it may be for Eid, it may be for Christmas, or it may be for any cultural occasion, religious occasion, or whatever. So this is the organization plan that help us to write order letter. If we look at the summary of what we have been discussing, we can say that the important thing is we need to keep in our mind is that order letter is a contract of selling and purchasing. Number one, when we are going to write order letters, when we are going to place orders, we need to think of the description of the product or services very precisely, very definitely, very accurately. We need to give them. Number one. Number two, we need to give the mode of payment, how we are going to pay the seller. We need to give the method of transportation. How do we want the goods to reach us? It's important. Any carrier must be mentioned very clearly if there is no previous settlement with the seller. So we need to mention it. Then we need to give the time of delivery when we want the things to reach us, and we need to give any special instruction regarding insurance, regarding inclusion of sales tax or any other tax, and packing arrangements. Maybe we sometimes want to give some instruction regarding packing. The goods may be, for example, we are placing an order for crockery item. They are brittle, very easily breakable. So it's better that we must mention precisely that the goods may be packed in strong cases, strong wooden cases, etc., etc. These are the guidelines to place an order. Let's now look at an order which was placed. Dear sir, thank you for your letter of March 23rd along with the catalog for computer hardware. Please send us the following goods by courier. Hard disk 60 GB, 6 numbers. RAM 6 number. The consignment may please be packed in strong cases. The booking receipt may be sent with other document through our bank from which you will receive the payment. Please make sure to send the consignment before April 3. Yours truly. If you look at this letter explains all the description about the product, then time of delivery, method of transportation, mode of payment, all these things. So this is how we should write order letter. There are other ways, as I told you, and we have begun this letter with thank you very much. It may be please send us though. It depends that whether you want to make the previous reference in this letter or not. It depends on you, how you feel. So this is how order letters are written. When you have received an order letter, it's very important that you must acknowledge this letter. Acknowledge means telling the customer that his order is in the process and it will be sent to him soon. Some business people are of the opinion that writing such acknowledgement letter is not very important, because they think that they are answering the writer by sending the goods or the services whatever are involved. But some people look at it as an opportunity to create goodwill, to convey the reader that they appreciate is sending them to their order. So it's a good practice of writing acknowledgement letter. Acknowledgement letter in many cases help us a lot. For example, sometimes we find that the specification of the product or the services are not very clear. It happens in many situations that the description received is not very accurate. So instead of writing a letter in which you simply ask the buyer to give you detail about the product or services, it's better to write an acknowledgement letter. And as you will just see that how do we mention the description of the goods in the acknowledgement letter, so this helps us to have it clarified. So in this way, writing an acknowledgement letter can be very helpful when we are in any ambiguity or in a doubt about the description of the product or about any other thing. In some cases, it may happen that we have received a first large order by a certain organization. So thanking first large order by a new organization is always very good. So it builds up our relationship with the organization. So it's good to write an acknowledgement letter. So there can be many other situations in which we may like to write an acknowledgement letter. Whenever you are writing an acknowledgement letter, take care of the plan that we use in writing acknowledgement letter. Thank or appreciate the customer. So we begin our letter by thanking or appreciating the interest of the customer in our products or in our services. So this is how we begin our letter. Sometimes we can simply send a card that has all these things. But when we are writing letter, we are using this organizational plan. So thank or appreciate the writer's interest or the buyer's interest, then restate the order to eliminate any likely misunderstanding. So this is the point for which we business people should write a letter. Obviously, not in every situation an acknowledgement letter is necessary. Maybe you are dealing with a certain company, certain organization, and there is no need for writing. That's just a matter of routine. But when this is not a matter of routine and there says occasion, feel that you need to write, you must write. Don't refrain yourself from writing. So in the second part of the letter, you restate the order. So when you restate the order, and it eliminates any doubt, any problem that may exist. Obviously, in case of a very complex product or merchandise, you very clearly mention that very aspect. But in certain cases, you may like that simply by restating an order can serve your purpose. So second thing is restate. First thing is thank the interest of the writer and then restate the order, and then comes the third point, and that is tell the customer that his order is being processed and should reach him within the given time frame. This is very important. So you tell him that the order is being processed and will reach the buyer by the certain date, by the date he has given you, and end your letter expressing your pleasure in serving the buyer. So keeping in these 4 points, we write an acknowledgement letter. This acknowledgement letter was basically written to a customer who has placed his first order with your organization. So you see that we have mentioned all these points into this letter. Dear Mr. Naveed, we are pleased to have received your order of September 15 and would like to welcome you as our new customer. Your order number 62997 for 1 dozen spark plugs is being processed and will be ready for shipment on September 21st. It will be delivered to your workshop by our van and payment will be COD. Our policy for all orders under rupees 1000. We assure you will appreciate this item of our auto line. Mr. Gul, our sales representative, will call on you soon with a catalog and sample. So, if you look at this letter gives the reader that he is being appreciated, and the seller wants to build up a relationship with him. Sometimes, as I just said, it happens that the order received has some incomplete information, and in that case it is very important that you must write a letter. So when writing a letter, use the same plan. Thank the customer in the beginning, appreciate his interest in the beginning, then restate the order, then assure him about the timely delivery of the product, and then end the letter with a positive close with an appreciation. Let's look at a letter of acknowledgement that was written when an incomplete information was received. Dear Mr. Ali, thank you for your order of October 22nd for 6 shirts. We are eager to deliver order 129 to your store as soon as possible. But first, please let us know which collar size you would like. These are made in different sizes, small, medium and large. If you note your preference on the bottom of this letter and mail it back to us today, we can have your order ready by the beginning of next week. We are sure you would like to receive your purchase without further delay. So, if you look at this letter again acknowledges the buyer as well as rectify the problem that was with the letter. Beside this type of acknowledgement letter, sometimes we do have to write letters in response to the order received, which may be brought under this acknowledgement letter, but they have some different subject matter. For example, sometimes we receive an order for our product, but we do not sell our product to individual. We market our product through some certain distributors or our outlets. So in that case, we also need to write letters. These are a type of acknowledgement, again using the same plan for writing these letters, but mentioning that they can have the product through our distributor or from the outlet. But we need to appreciate the interest of the buyer. It's very important. Here we have a time to put sale into it, to put sale promotional material into letters. So this can be situation of writing acknowledgement letter. Again, sometime it may happen that we receive an order, but we have changed the line. Obviously, in that case, we cannot fill the order. But since it's a chance to keep goodwill with the reader, with the buyer, so we can suggest the buyer that he or she may contact some other distributor or seller, and we can have a chance to introduce our products, our services to the inquirer of that product. So these can be different situation. But along with all these types of situation, there can be other possibility, and this possibility is that sometime it may happen that we may have to refuse an order. We may have to say no to an order letter. So whenever we have to say no to an order letter, we are switching over to the inductive plan. And what is the inductive plan? Inductive plan includes that we have to use buffer in the beginning, we have to give explanation, we have to give the decision given clearly in words or implied, and then we have to end the letter with a friendly close, right? So this can be the organizational plan. Let's look at the first organizational plan of the refuel letter. Start with a buffer, thank the customer for order and repeat the detail. So what are you going to do in a refuel order? You're going to thank the customer for the interest in your product or services, and you're going to repeat the order. Next thing to it is give explanation. In a positive way, tell why you cannot complete the order and stress what you can do along with the advantages to your reader. So here maybe you invite the customer to buy some other product or asked him to wait for the product, or here you have to satisfy the customer by giving any reason which is acceptable to him, which is acceptable to his sense of justice, etc. So then third thing is say no. Many times your explanation will imply the no that is coming. Be sure the refuel is clear. As I say, I'll always say when I discuss the inductive organizational approach, that you have to say no, or sometimes it's employed, but it must be there. It must be very clear to the reader what you mean that you are going to refuse. And then again the end with a buffer. Resell your organization, your product. So this is the time again for you to resell your organization. So let's look at a letter. Gentlemen, many thanks for your order of April 12 for Sea Breeze window air conditioner. You can be sure that your decision to buy a Sea Breeze was a decision to buy the best in the market. So if you look at this beginning, this is the beginning which appreciate the interest of the inquirer. Then we give the explanation. Your order cannot be filled as the line has been discontinued. However, we offer you latest range of split air conditioner. This latest model has several improvements and new features. We now stock the new split air conditioner. This model has these improved features: remote controlled, heavy duty compressor, noiseless, available in 3 sizes. So you look at this, that the middle part of this letter give all the description. It has the resale in it. You are refusing one thing, that you have discontinued the line and you are inviting to your other product. So now we come to the end of this letter. For all these advantages, this split air conditioner is inexpensive. This sentence is in fact stimulating the reader to take an action. To give your approval for shipment, just call me at 000-111 any weekday between 9 and 5. I'll have it on its way to you the same day. I look forward to hearing from you soon. So this is a letter of refusal. Refusal in one way, that refusing the order, but you are inviting the reader to buy another product of you. Sometimes you may flatly refuse. Flatly refuse means that you may completely refuse the item, that you do not sell that item, or you do not provide that certain services to the customers. So it may happen. So we have gone through order letter, how to place an order. Order letter is, as I just said, is a contract of selling and purchasing. It tells the reader that we want to buy the product of his organization, or we want to hire his services. So it's a very sensitive letter, as I am time and again repeating this thing, that you have to write these letters very clearly, very accurately. All the information given in this letter must be very accurate, must be rechecked, double checked, and whatever. When we write order letter, we take care of few things about the description of the product or services. We take care of the time of delivery. We take care of the method of transportation. We take care of the mode of payment. We take care of the packing of the product, and any other instruction that we want to take regarding, as I'm repeating, regarding taxes, insurance, etc. So, and when we write order letter, we write order letter in a very definite way. We begin letter by giving a very definite instruction to the reader, and what is, please send me, please ship me, or we mention any previous reference as it was there in the letters that we read. So order letter have this part in the beginning. Then we have acknowledgement letters. In acknowledgement letter, what do we do? In acknowledgement letter, we simply thank the customer that we appreciate his interest in our product. After having thanked the customer, what we do? We restate the order. Restate the order means that we want to clarify any sort of doubt regarding the letter. If we feel that there is any doubt, this part of the letter help us in resolving the doubt, and then we assure the reader that the order is being processed, so that the reader may know that the goods or services will timely reach him. Then we end the letter with the positive close. So similarly, we come to the letter of refusal. In letter of refusal, we use the inductive plan, buffer in the beginning, then explanation, then employee decision or direct decision, and then appreciation, again a sort of buffer. So let's look at a letter and see, rather tell me, is it a good order letter, whether the writer of this letter has placed the order keeping all these things in his mind. For example, let's see here. Dear sir, please send me the plastic terrace chairs which I saw advertised for ₹5,000. We have recently constructed a new house with a beautiful terrace, and terrace chair would be wonderful addition to its setting. My check is enclosed. So if you look at this type of a letter, you will certainly feel that this type of letter does have a check in it. I mean, the payment is there, but it has not mentioned that the method of transportation is not mentioned. Where do you want? You should have mentioned, please send the merchandise to the certain address, to the address given at the top or address below. And beside the plastic, the chairs can be of different colors, of different types. So you have not, the writer of this letter has not clearly mentioned all these things. So it lacks description. It failed to achieve its purposes. The reader of such a letter will be in doubt, and another communication is now essential. The seller will have to write a letter to the buyer by asking him to send him further details. So whenever you are going to write letter, it's important that you keep all those guidelines that we've been discussing regarding placing an order in your mind. When you have written your letter, you know what we do or what we suggest, that once a letter is written, it needs to be revised. Need to be revised from the grammatical errors, need to be revised for any factual errors, need to be revised regarding any total of figures, etc., whatever. So the revision helps the reader, helps the writer of such a letter to write complete letters. So today we have discussed order letter, how to place an order letter, then we discuss acknowledgement letters, how to answer order letters. As I said that this acknowledgement letter is the second part of the contract. The first was the offer of buying, and then this was completing that offer, and then we discuss how to refuse in certain cases, and we also have seen many model letters, model order letters, model acknowledgement letter, and model refusal letter. I hope that with all this description you must have understood about an order letter. So we finish our today's lecture with this, and in the next lecture we will be discussing the next topic. Thank you very much for today. Khuda Hafiz.